Today we will discuss how Ukraine became fully independent, also what challenges and opportunities were available to Ukraine. To understand that properly, firstly we must know that Ukraine was once part of Soviet Union, which was one of the most powerful countries in the world, but in present USSR do not exist. Instead, there is Russia and other separate countries. USSR collapsed as a result of implementation of some policies by President Gorbachev. Glasnost and perestroika. The term glasnost means openly expression of ideas by people, while perestroika means restructuring the political and economic system. All these policies did not help Soviet Union to control its economy. People started raising their voices. All this resulted in demand for reforms. Thus, on December 31st, 1991, Soviet Union collapsed, and 15 countries which separated themselves from USSR were all fully independent. Talking about Ukraine, it is one of the largest flatlands which is fertile as well. Due to this, it is also known as a breadbasket of Europe. In February 1917, Ukraine set up a provincial government and declared itself a republic within the structure of Federal Russia. However, Bolshevik resistance and counter-revolutionary activities within the nation made it extremely difficult for Ukraine's Rada administration to impose its will on the people. Germany and Austria brought in troops to maintain order because they saw Ukraine as a perfect and much needed source for food for their starving people. Forcing the terms of the Brest-Litovsk Treaty, which was signed in March 1918. They effectively occupied the region and recognized Ukrainian independence. After some years, Ukrainian government made alliance with Poland, but this was not enough to withstand the Soviet assault. In 1922, Ukraine became one of the original constituent republics of the USSR and was unable to regain its independence until collapse of USSR in 1991. After complete independence, Ukraine was still heavily dependent on Russia for energy sources such as fossil fuels. Russia stopped providing subsidies to Ukraine on these resources. Thus, this had a direct impact on Ukraine's economy. Due to the absence of a solid monetary policy, Ukraine saw hyperinflation, which peaked in 1993 at a rate of at least 4,735%. Apart from this, corruption also increased because politicians acquired state assets for themselves. An attempt was made by introducing economic reforms with the appointment of Leonid Kuchma in 1992 as Prime Minister. All the efforts made by Kuchma were strongly opposed by a majority of parliamentarians as well as by the President Kravchuk. Hence, in 1993, Kuchma, the Prime Minister, resigned. But in 1994, Kuchma was re-elected as new president and he remained president until 2005. During his term, he put censorship on media and the economy kept declining. But in 2000, some growth was recorded as Kuchma continuously improved relations with Russia. After independence from USSR in 1991, Ukraine was able to explore a lot of opportunities. Out of them, one is political independence. Now Ukraine had the chance to form its own government and political system, which means creation of new constitution, establishment of democratic institutions was possible, which gave people more freedom than living in a communist country. Ukraine was free to explore international relations with other nations and became able to reduce its over dependence on Russia. If I talk about current scenario, Ukraine is trying to reduce its ties with Russia and want to join NATO, which Russia do not want. And this led to a war between both nations which is still going on.